And this is a team that obviously needs Paniotis Fasoulas to play well. Yorgos Sigalis along with Giannakis, and he is a veteran of 35 years of age. He's playing in his 305th international game. Christodoulou and Nasos Kalaktaros rounded out. For Croatia, Kukoc and Radja, the forwards, and they will be tough for Greece to match up with. As you look at the numbers on paper with Vrankovic, Komazec, and Alanovic, Croatia should win this game going away in terms of matchups.
Oh, no question about it. When you look at what they're able to produce from a point standpoint, size and rebounding strength inside. But again, we talked about it just a little while ago, the mindset of Croatia. They expected to play for a gold medal. Now they have to play for the bronze.
For Greece, they made their way here by knocking off Canada, beating China. Croatia did beat them in the earlier meeting, and Kukoc played well, and then they lost last night to the United States. Croatia, on the other hand, a team that had gone unbeaten through its particular pool. They knocked off China, beat Canada handily, as well as Greece, but then lost to Russia. Vrankovic and Fasoulas will get us started. And the opening tip is controlled to Greece. Our officials, George Tolliver of the NBA in the United States and Carl Jungerbrand of Finland. A turnover to start the game. Alanovic looks to Radja. The jump stop on the wing, and it won't fall. Sigalis taking a page from Russia's game plan, beating the slower Croatians down the floor.
Straight to the rack. That's one way you negate size. Just take it right at their face. Sigalis did just that.
Komazec being matched up with Giannakis.
Both teams playing man-to-man to start.
Kukoc, that's a good look to Vrankovic, and he draws the foul from Paniotis Fasoulas. It'll be very important for Fasoulas to remain out of foul difficulty today.
Number 13.
And the flip side of that coin, as you take a look at the penetration, the tail end of it, Kukoc making the nice speed to Vrankovic, and the big fella will shoot too. But the flip side of that coin, when you talk about Fasoulas needing to stay out of foul trouble, obviously Croatia would love to get their inside game established. In particular, Dino Radja, who's averaged over 20 points a game in the tournament.
You notice that Fasoulas took that one off the rim. That is legal in international play. On the wing, it's knocked home by Nasos Kalaktaros. 24 years old. He is a veteran of almost 70 international games. The Greece team is an experienced one, and Komazec hits his first three-pointer.
Yeah, he was really the only live wire for Croatia last night. Arian Komazec can shoot it from outside, is a slashing player in the paint area as well. If he gets help from Radja and Kukoc, you would think Croatia wins easily.
There's the sweeping hook that we documented at the top of the show. Off the back iron, Komazec releases to Kukoc. This is a mismatch defensively. Kukoc tries to take advantage, out of bounds, last touched by Fanis Christodoulou. It'll be triggered in underneath the Croatian hoop.
Well, you look at keys for Greece. I think they need to get off to a good shooting start. Only 40% field goal shooting throughout the tournament. Then they also need to rebound the basketball. If they can do those two things, then we'll have a competitive game.
Well, we had a competitive game earlier in this round until Kukoc decided to take over. Something he did not do in last night's meeting with Russia. Christodoulou misses. Giannakis will try. Paniotis Giannakis with a three-pointer. There's the clear out by Galactaros. 2 minutes, 45 seconds deep from Skydome on the deuce. Tim Brando, Clark Kellogg, happy to have you with us. Bronze medal game of the 1994 World Championships. shot clock down to 10 on this possession. The Greek team so far very patient. Oh, what a move by Giannakis. Dribbles into some difficulty, though. And only 1 second remaining on the shot clock.
Now, no alley-oop, remember, so it has to be a catch and shoot. Here you take a look at Kukoc with a nice drop step and reverse pivot for the deuce off the window.
It was a Marcus Haynes hook from the top, wasn't it?
Well, it was only a catch and shoot, and because it didn't hit the rack, the ball goes over to Croatia.
Now we have a discussion between the two officials. George Tolliver there chatting with Carl Jungerbrand. Giuseppe Giorgia, the 57-year-old head coach. As you see the shot clock, that must have been what the conversation was about. Did not start at the right time, apparently, and we'll have a jump ball. Fasoulas will go against Stoyan Vrankovic. And the tip controlled to the Croatians. Dino Radja bringing it down. They're asking a lot of Yorgos Sigalis to stay with Kukoc in the backcourt. Vrankovic works against Fasoulas baseline.
Boy, nice job by Fasoulas to position himself with his feet and not give up any ground.
Kukoc, only a couple of seconds on the shot clock, and they finally knock it home. And we're tied at 8. Tony Kukoc with as many field goals in the first 4 minutes as he had all evening long against Russia last night. Fasoulas falling away on the baseline. Cleared by Dino Radja. The outlet to Kukoc. Milanovic, now that's his shot. It won't fall. He couldn't hit any of them last night off the front iron. Yorgos Sigalis. Would have counted had it gone. The foul against Komazec. Milanovic still on the floor down at the other end. They'll clean up the perspiration. If you look at Yorgos Sigalis, he looks an awful lot like George Michael. Right, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sure does.
How about that wham? We'll be right back.
Two remarkably similar bills.
We're tied at 8 with 15:44 remaining here in the opening half. The bronze medal matchup. And the George Michael lookalike, Yorgos Sigalis. See, if he had an earring, he'd be George Michael.
Sure. Nice call, Tim. Not only do you know hoops, but you know music as well.
Oh, you have to have something to fall back on if this doesn't work out. And look at the fans, and we talk so much about the fans that made the trip from Greece. There are so many that make their home in Canada. Same holds true for Croatia, which has to be in the same number as Greece in terms of fan support. Christodoulou claims the rebound. Giannakis with a pull-up.
Hello.
And Jonas Giannakis.
Well, I tell you what, both teams playing at a high level of intensity, and the question we had about Croatia maybe being a little flat with their chins in their chest certainly has been answered thus far. They're ready to play, and they'd like to win the bronze medal, it looks like.
Certainly Kukoc appears
rejuvenated.
Yes, indeed. He has 7 of Croatia's 11. It's a 1-point lead for Greece.
You know, over the years that I participated in college and pro basketball, and since I've been a commentator, it's always amazed me how a good player can have a bad game and be so disturbed by that immediately upon playing again, typically will come out and have a strong game. And so far, Kukoc doing just that. It's about pride and wanting to get that bad taste of a poor performance out of your mouth as quickly as possible, and no better way to do that than in your next outing on the floor.
Fasoulas, the lad-lib job there as the pass was knocked away. He was looking for Sigalis. The ball was knocked away, and he had to put it up, or he would have been involved in a 3-second violation. Kukoc will handle the ball better than 60% of the time. And there's Radja in his pocket pick by Giannakis. Kicked that time by Komazec. Out of bounds to Greece. Greece does so well is they utilize the talent that they have.
Nice help here by Giannakis. Dino Radja took an extra second to decide what kind of move he was going to make, and by that time Giannakis had stepped right into his dribbling path.
Unlike Russia, a team that is 10 deep and has superior guard play, Greece not as quick, but they create shots for their big guns, Fasoulas and Christodoulou and Giannakis.
Well, they're solid. They screen extremely well. And what they do is they get pseudo penetration, Tim. They don't get complete penetration where they get by their guy. What they do is get a shoulder by and force a little help. Then they pitch out to guys for shots.
No substitutions for either team, and Kukoc continues to drain them. He has 10 with that three-pointer. 14-12, first lead of the game for Croatia.
Boy, well executed little double down screen that time by Croatia to free up the lefty Tony Kukoc for the J.
He's now 4 of 5 from the floor.
Greece has to maintain contact. If they get down by 8 or more, then Croatia begins to wear them down with their size.
Oh, that's a great spin move by Christodoulou. Fasoulas is hacked by Radja.
We're going to take a look at Kukoc. Excellent move without the ball here. See, he runs his defender right into the screen. That looked like Radja and Vrankovic. They did a nice job of just setting the staggered double screen that gave Kukoc all the time he needed to sight the target and bury the J. Boy, Fasoulas has big-time hops. I mean, it looked to me like he could have dunked that pass that he received from Christodoulou.
Fasoulas, a one-time player at North Carolina State, coached by our great friend, the late Jimmy Valvano. Back in the 80s. 29 years old, had an NBA shot. But too slight of size, his biggest problem. That's not a problem for Dino Radja. Vrankovic can't get it to go. Radja again in the foul, the end result. Christos Chekos, who just clocked into the game, will pick up the foul. There's Makis Tadrinos. I chatted with him prior to the start of the game, and he told me that he really reminded his club, though they've been matched up against Croatia the last couple of years at least 8 times and lost them all, that never before had they come into a game against Croatia with the kind of mindset Croatia must have. So you've played well enough to deserve a medal. You've been outmanned in many cases. Go out and grab you a bronze and steal one, because he knows as well as anyone that his team is outmanned.
Sure, seize the moment. And you do that by playing confidently from the start. And the confidence can be fed as long as you're making good plays. And obviously you need some shots to go down for you early to keep the fire fed.
15-14. Christodoulou with a little inside-outside game with Fasoulas. And with the shot clock winding down, foul will go inside.
Offensive foul.
An offensive foul against Christos Chekos. That's his second since coming into the game.
Third team foul.
Basketball in Greece is as big as basketball in Chicago. I mean, it is.
It's the game.
Yeah, it is. It's the country's #1 sport. Soccer or football at the international level cannot hold a candle to basketball in Greece. And it really emerged back in '87 during the Europeans and World Championships as Greece had their first major success. Radja using his body off the back iron. The superior size of Vrankovic tipping it out to keep it alive, and Alanovic finally knocks home a perimeter jumper. 18-14. Alanovic with a three-pointer to give Croatia a 4-point lead.
Danger zone here for Greece. They need a good solid possession here.
Oh, great move into the paint. Fasoulas picks up the air ball and gets the roll. Sigala's had a beautiful move. He just didn't take advantage, but Fasoulas there to pick it up.
Yeah, I'd give him a 10 on the move, and obviously much less than that on the shot.
Kukoc using his superior size, penetrating the seams of the Greek defense. Out of bounds with 10:53 remaining in the opening half. Greece trails by 2 here in Toronto.
Toronto's
Championship basketball, along with Clark Kellogg, Tim Brando. We talked about Croatia coming into the game, how they would feel mentally. If they were bummed about having to play for the bronze, then the United States can't feel too good about having a rematch with Russia.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Russia gave them more problems than any other team because of that penetrating ability of Vazorevic and also Babkov. So I think United States will come out very aggressively from the start this afternoon.
Radja counted on a foul. That's his first field goal of the game. He does have the one free throw, and the foul goes against Chekos. That's his third since coming into the game a short time ago. That is the 4th team foul against Greece. Also into the game, number 12, Danko Sviatikinen. Number 12 in white for the Croatian team, and the lead now is 5, 21-16. Along the lines of Dream Team 2, coming up at halftime, Pam Oliver will join us with a live report. She's been with Dream Team 2 throughout these World Championships. Christodoulou, not as good off the dribble as with the stationary jump shot. Greece is now 2 of 6 from beyond the arc. Croatia lighting it up. And Kukoc due in large part to that. They're 4 of 6 from 3. Giannakis, double dribble. Got that one on the thigh.
Boy, I wonder if somebody hit that. It seemed to me as though the ball had been hit as Giannakis was dribbling.
Halfway through the first 20 minutes, Croatia by 5. And that critical portion of the first half is now here for Greece. And Alanovic has just nailed another one. So it's a 7-point lead, and Alanovic now has 5. Maintaining contact, Clark, just as you mentioned, they'll need to in these next few sequences. Nice cut by Giannakis. The pass a bit high from Christodoulou. And we've got an over and back.
Backdoor violation.
Coming up here on the Deuce, you'll be able to see roller hockey, the Vipers and the New Jersey Rock and Rollers tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Hey, can you rollerblade, by the way?
No.
I'm not giving it a shot, huh?
I was one of those guys that when I got invited to the skating parties, it took me 3 hours to get it down, and the party was over by that time. Jump hook from Radja, jammed home by Vrankovic.
Well, the size and strength balanced by the perimeter shooting of Kukoc starting to wear down Greece a bit.
7-0 run for Croatia.
And when you're not a strong shooting team, Greece only at 40. Oh, nice feed by Christodoulou to Fasoulas. But when you're not a strong shooting team and you don't have the ability to break people down off the dribble, it's very difficult for you to try to come back from large deficits.
Croatia foul charge to number 11, Vrankovic.
Vrankovic picked up the foul, his first, just the 3rd team foul, and Panagiotis Fasoulas is at the stripe. He has 4 points in the game. Panagiotis, among other things, owns a yacht and is a politician. He won election to the consulate, so is a very political individual back in his native country. I guess being an athlete wouldn't hurt you.
No, it's
from a political standpoint in Greece.
I imagine it would, especially a prominent basketball player. Great rejection by Fasoulas there.
And on the other end, Bakatsias. Themis Bakatsias puts it in. 26 years of age. Bakatsias had 12 points off the Greek bench against Dream Team 2 last night. Here's the double team. Kukoc recognizing it. But Fasoulas does a nice job deflecting. And Kukoc brings it down again. That'll be an offensive foul. And good acting by Alanovic.
Greece looking to transition the basketball. One way you can ignite the transition game is with good defense. Fasoulas with the denial. And then Kukoc to the rack.
It all began with the consulate swipe from Greece.
Definitely.
25-20 Croatia.
Boy, how about the Radja rumble here? Take a look at his feet, folks. Fine there, but then he took a bunny hop step prior to the dribble. But Greece glad it wasn't called because that block led to an easy opportunity in transition for their squad.
Fasoulas clearly the top blocker in Europe. That time he couldn't get a hand on Dino Radja's shot. Dino now has 6. 27-20 Croatia, equaling their largest lead of 7. Kostas Patavukas is in the game now, number 5 in blue. There's a give and go to Christodoulou.
Christodoulou unable to get untracked as yet.
Oh, right on cue.
Used all that wide body of his to shield the defender, and then the extended fingertip roll.
The thing they haven't been able to accomplish, Greece, though, Clark, is get Christodoulou loose for the open jumper, the stationary J. There's a foul. Down on the blocks, Christodoulou unable to stay with Dino Radja.
Radja gets the basket on the goaltend and also will shoot a free throw here. Radja, look at him use his body. See him get his body on the defender, and there's Fasoulas coming late while the ball was on the window. And both Radja and Kukoc, Tim, elevating their performance so far today.
9 points for Radja. And Kukoc has only missed 1 shot from the floor. He has 10. So between them, 19 points of Croatia's 30. Tough shot again, but Fasoulas is fouled. And it's very obvious as the game progresses that each possession far more difficult offensively for Makis Tadrinos' team than it is for his counterparts from Croatia.
Fasoulas with a little scoop shot to draw the foul on Kukoc. Tony said, I am innocent.
I talked with Alexander Gomelsky, the well-known legendary coach from the Soviet Union, the former Soviet Union. Very proud of his Russian team and Sergei Belov, the coaching job he did last night. And his first comment to me was, how about that? A $26 million man gets 2 field goals last night. He was very proud of the job the Russian team did on Tony Kukoc. Kukoc with a leaning finger roll in the lane.
He brought his A game today. Threes, drives, dishes.
Fasoulas rejected by Vrankovic. Quick outlet. Patavukas picks it up. And now running the show, Efthimis Kukoc. Foul will go against V.A. Tikkanen. Number 12 in white. That's his first.
Here's Tony Kukoc. Nobody stops the orange, and Kukoc with 1 bounce in the long stride glides inside. He's got 12 points now on 5 of 7 shooting.
Nice move by Patavukas. Can't get it to drop. Cleared by Vrankovic. Even though Croatia has eased to this lead, something to remember as Greece, much like Russia, will go deeper into its bench. And there will come a time, probably early in the second half, where Croatia will have their hands on their hips.
Well, that's why it's so important for Greece to stay fairly close, because if they're going to take advantage of their depth, they've got to be within striking distance. If it's a 12, 14, 15-point game, then the additional depth means nothing for Greece.
Kukoc on the wing. Fasoulas may have gotten away with one that time. He blocked it, but he may have also fouled. Oh, what a move by Kukoc. He played on the European Club Championship team in Tel Aviv just this past year. 32-26. Just over 5 minutes left in the opening half.
Greece showing his own defense now. In large part to try to keep the ball outside.
That means Alanovic should get open shots.
You've seen this game before.
3 field goals for Alanovic, Vladan Alanovic. 27-year-old 6'4" backcourt player for this Croatian team. Fasoulas from up high. Follows his own shot. Kept it alive. Sigalis rejected by Radja. Christodoulou. Radja did a nice job of getting out there on him, but look at Greece fight hard to keep the ball alive. Croatia is susceptible to allowing the opposition offensive rebounding. That was the point in last night's game early with Russia. They just got more offensive opportunities. Sigalis on the third try. Greece denied yet again, and Croatia clears. Greece has 6 offensive rebounds in the game, but they only have 2 points off those boards.
Not maximizing those extra shot attempts.
Radja. Cleared by Sigalis. Bakatsias, who has been the ignite man for Greece, finds Patavoukas for 3. Kostas Patavoukas. And you really have to credit Bakatsias for keeping this Greek team in it since coming in. 2 layups and a couple of great dishes. And here he is again running the show. Down by 5 to Croatia. Here comes the double screen to Patavoukas. Threw up a brick there. Greece is not playing their best, but they are maintaining contact, aren't they?
And that is critical. Here you see Bakatsias. Nobody stops the orange, and by the time Vrankovic recognizes he's there, it's too late. Just under 3 minutes to go in this first half, and Eftimis Bakatsias will show us what it means to do it all. Here's the good defense by Fasoulas, leads to the rebound by Bakatsias, and then he just decides to go rack to rack. And then the nice switch to the left hand, and that is the kind of angle you can get in Sky Dome.
Greece shooting only 35%, but hanging in there, down by only 5. Alanovic with an air ball. Alanovic comes up with it, though, out of bounds. Last touched by Bakatsias. It will be controlled to Croatia. Alanovic has really helped Giuseppe Gergia's team today, hitting the perimeter jumper against that Greek zone. Kukoc and Radja have played far better. And I think it speaks volumes that Greece is hanging around, shooting as poorly as they have been. And the foul will go against Eftimis Rinsias, number 14 in blue, one of the younger players, only 18 years of age. They claim him to be the heir apparent to Fasoulas in Greece.
He and Radja tangled up inside, and Radja used some of that NBA experience and that extra 25 pounds of his to draw the foul.
It was particularly embarrassing for Radja in the wake of his comments prior to last night's game, saying that he had been untested. Well, he threw up 4 of 16 offensively as Russia did an outstanding job of doubling him, and he had to eat some big league crow in the Toronto papers today. 36-29, 7-point lead for Croatia. Sigalis working against Kukoc. Not there. Dadrinos not happy with Yorgos Sigalis in that sequence.
Well, he checked the air in the ball by pounding it on the floor 4 or 5 times and then jacked up a challenge 3.
Radja has it taken away by Fasoulas. Kukoc. Oh, what a move. Finding his man, Rincius, on the wing. And Yanakis, the veteran, has to be happy watching the job being done by his backup, Kukoc, in the backcourt.
Well, much like Komazec last night for Croatia, Kukoc has really been a tremendous lift for Greece this half.
Kukoc fading away. Not there. That will be a basket.
Oh, I think there was a foul on.
Number 14.
They did spot a foul against Radja. Push, you're right.
A little lower body root canal.
I thought for a moment they were going to have a goaltending violation that would go against Rincius, but the push came prior to that from Dino Radja. Break for Greece, and they could cut it to 3 or 2 here before halftime. Trailing by as many as 8. They've maintained contact with Croatia. Fasoulas fouled by Vrankovic.
Croatia foul, the 7th team foul of the period.
The largest lead of the half was 9 for
Number 11,
Croatia.
Vrankovic, second personal foul.
Really have to be happy for this Greece team and Coach Christodoulou, because they lost to Puerto Rico in a game that Derek Dickey and I had here last week. Frankly, Puerto Rico was a team that matched up favorably to Greece. There are probably 5 or 6 teams that have a far better chance of getting this far than Greece coming into this tournament. Australia, perhaps Canada might have been given the nod against this Greek team. 36-32, a 4-point lead for Croatia. Radja backs in, using his size and strength, draws yet another foul.
They called the walk.
Wow. Radja upset with that call. They called the walk. He's using that NBA jump hop, and they won't buy it here.
Here you take a look, the drop step, pump fake, and then he takes another step. That's where he walked. Had he gone straight up after the drop step, he would have been shooting free throws.
NBA kudos don't count here at the World Championships. A lot of times you'll get that call favorably in the NBA. The extra step, particularly with all the banging that goes on.
But I've been amazed by how much banging that's been allowed in the games that we've done, in the games that I've watched. I mean, the officials have allowed the games to have some flow and not call every single bit of incidental contact. I mean, it's been very physical down in the paint area.
I think both the NBA and NCAA, in many cases, we've talked about this. I'd love to see a more liberal whistle at the collegiate level, and I'd like to see a few more whistles in the NBA. And I think, in a sense, what you get at the international level is a nice mixture.
Yeah, maybe a blending of the two.
Well, there are some aspects of the international game that you'd rather not see come into the NBA or NCAA, but from that aspect, allowing the players to make plays, that's something that is definitely there at the World Championships and in international basketball. Look at that crowd, both Croatia and Greece with such fan support. You'll notice today in the championship game, the gold medal game between Dream Team 2 and Russia, that the crowd will not be as active as the crowd we have for this game today.
I think you're exactly right. It's a very animated crowd thus far.
Rincius can't get it to fall. Radja clears. 9 seconds the differential between the game clock that you see and the shot clock.
Good strategy there by Greece, Tim, to look at the 2-for-1 situation. Got a quick shot out of the timeout. So they should, with good defense and rebounding here, be able to get the last shot of the half with that 9-second difference between the game clock and shot clock.
Shot clock down to 2. Kukoc won't get it off. Well, a tremendous defense from Greece, and now a timeout being called by Christodoulou. They've done a masterful job along the Greece sidelines to stay with this team, given the fact that Kukoc and Radja have played so well.
There you see the replay. Clearly, Tony Kukoc unable to get that shot off before the shot clock expired.
8.1 seconds remaining until halftime.
Welcome to the palace.
Lead Marcos Degrinos with a designed play to give his team an opportunity to be down by 2 or 1 by a half sin.
Well, I would think Vrankovic gets it in his hands in some way. No, they may be running the play for him.
Christodoulou up high. Got a good shot. Fasoulas, and the half is over. That will be the answer that has to be forthcoming for Greece to get Christodoulou involved. Fasoulas has done his part. Certainly Sigalis, Giannakis, as well as the rest of that backcourt, including the play, the spark plug play from Apthemis Vrankovic. Halftime activities coming right up. Is blank home Croatia with a 4-point lead. We'll look at halftime stats and our first dead ball. Tim Brando, Clark Kellogg, happy to have you with us. We have enjoyed our stay in Toronto.
And yours is going to be extended, I understand.
Yes, it will. Vrankovic, along with Radja, Komazec, Alanovic, and Kukoc starting for Croatia. Boy, the downward flight of that jumper in the lane from Stoyan Vrankovic. Vrankovic signed with Boston, but due to some commitments back in 1990, was unable to even make it to the team. Back in Russia, he had many commitments. Of course, things were different back then. Out of bounds, last touched by Alanovic. The numbers in the first half will tell you that Greece did the job on the boards to stay in it. Not only did they stay in it, they out-rebounded Croatia, but three-point shooting from the Croatians, and Kukoc in particular, the difference.
Exactly, and one of the key elements we talked about at the beginning of this game for Greece was to battle on the board, so they've done that part of it. They need to make sure they keep Radja from getting going inside, and they also have to continue to make good shots.
Christodoulou picks up the foul.
Here's Dino Radja. He's been called for a walk before, but this time keeps both feet down. That's the best time to get the ball back. After you pass it out of the post, reestablish right away while the defender has relaxed, and then take it right at him.
For younger players, particularly collegians in the low post, could take a lesson in that, right?
Mm-hmm. That's one of the most opportune times. You catch it in there and you kick it back out. Immediately that defender will relax, and then you slam right back into him, and typically you'll have better post position than what you had to start with.
Vrankovic, as we mentioned, made it to the Celtics, was the 12th man for a couple of years, but never really a major factor. And his commitments back in Russia were such that he went back to his native country.
Oh, nice feed. Oh, what a nice feed by Giannakis.
You know, the veteran guards, Bazarevic from Russia and Giannakis from Greece, typify the way backcourt play should be handled.
Here we see the tail end of it, and that's Alanovic coming in late. And then actually Vrankovic as well, as Fasoulas tried to take a look. We go up top again for a better look. Watch the pass. See, Vrankovic leaves, and that allows Fasoulas to get an open lane to the basket, and Giannakis was able to find him with the feed.
Only one of the two free throws hit. 40-33 our scores. 7-point lead now for Croatia.
So you get the sense, Tim, with Croatia being able to maintain a 5 to 8 point cushion.
Vrankovic with an easy one.
That they don't really feel the pressure of being threatened. Greece has to even this thing up, or at least get to within a basket before Croatia might succumb to the pressure of being the favorite.
Sigalis picks up the foul.
Offensive foul, number 8,
Yorgos Sigalis gets his first.
Here we take a look at Vrankovic on the nice pass from Komazec. It's easy. See, I can reach up and extend my arm to 9 feet. So Vrankovic at 7 feet tall, I'm 6'8", can dunk probably on his tiptoes.
Giannakis leaves it for Christodoulou. Great defensive play by Radja. Christodoulou has to get on track here in the second half. They have to find him open on the offensive wing. He has been held in check. He's 1 of 8 from the floor. Now he picks up the personal foul. That may have been out of frustration. And that's the 3rd against Christodoulou.
Well, he's powerfully built, yet he doesn't have big hops. So if he doesn't get space for his shot, he can be bothered. And then I think frustration is set in a little bit.
Nice pick by Yorgos Sigalis. Head coach Makis Tadrinos wants them to push it, and Giannakis will answer. Kukoc will take the 3. Short-armed it. Fasoulas clears. Out to Bakatsias. Giannakis. Boy, those shots are going to have to fall. Paniotis Giannakis missing an open jumper off the dribble. 42-33. Greece comes out cold to open the second half. They don't have a field goal as yet in the second half. Kukoc has it taken away. Now numbers for Bakatsias with Fasoulas on the wing. Christodoulou for 3. It'll be a push against Komazec. Greece getting good looks. They've just been unable to knock any home. They're 0 for 4 this half.
Boy, tough pass to handle here from Bakatsias to Fasoulas, and then a wide open look for Christodoulou, and he's unable to figure it out. Wide left on that attempt.
There's a steal by Komazec. Works over Bakatsias, can't get it to fall, but draws the foul on the putback. That'll go against Christos Chekos.
Excuse me, Tim, but you just have to love Komazec. I mean, he does everything. He's not really scored today, but he's done a nice job. Here he anticipates the pass, steps into the lane, and then just continues to battle after he missed the first shot attempt and was able to draw the foul.
That's 4 fouls on Christos Chekos. One of the more physical players. They need his presence, particularly if Fasoulas and Christodoulou are in foul difficulty. Komazec gives Croatia its largest lead of 10, first double-digit lead of the game. He now has 5 for the afternoon. 44-33. Giannakis falling away, puts it in. Paniotis Giannakis.
Boy, Vrankovic must have injured an ankle or a knee. He's actually limping a little bit. Stojan.
Boy, Komazec's a little frustrated. He didn't get the ball that time from Kukoc. Tony with a one-on-one move on the wing, can't get it to fall. Kukoc appears to be pressing a bit here in the second half. Giannakis with the kick out. Now Bakatsias should have put that one up. Too many passes. Giannakis gets Vrankovic airborne. On the other end, Stoyan Vrankovic counted in a foul, and that's 4 on Christodoulou.
Boy, you can see frustration setting in for Greece. They've gotten some good shots that haven't gone, then they've passed up some other ones. And here's the big fella, Vrankovic, showing you the ability to finish at the end of the...
Hey, I'm talking.
5, and the proof of my comments relative to turning away passes or shots, and this was a point well worth making, Clark.
Here it is right here. You see Greece move the ball, and that's a shot for Bakatsias right there. Instead, he tries to give it to Giannakis, who even if he catches it, has nothing to do with it there. And then here's a 4th shot by Giannakis with Vrankovic challenging him. And at the other end of that rebound, Stoyan Vrankovic got a layup and got himself fouled, unable to convert the free throw there.
Christodoulou has to play with 4 fouls. So already, with 15 minutes left, Greece has hit the critical stage.
survived a couple of critical moments in the first half with timely three-point shots.
Some substitutions now for the Croatians. Veliko Merzic in the game for the first time, number 15. That's Radja in the paint. Christodoulou clears.
Boy, I tell you what, Christodoulou lucky because he made some contact there that wasn't called.
That one's thrown up from the hip, and the foul ensues as Galactaros puts it up. You see Tony Kukoc on the bench.
First personal foul. Croatia's third.
Take a look at Dino Radja. Sweet position on the trapezoid lane. Again, reestablishing after the kick out. He's 4 feet from the hole, and Christodoulou shoved him off balance. No whistle. That's a tough matchup for Christodoulou. Doulou has been all day long. Part of the reason that he has 4 fouls.
Giuseppe Gergia looks on, his team leading by 10. 5.5 minutes gone here from Sky Dome in Toronto.
Well, you wonder, there was a period in the first half where Greece employed a zone that actually allowed them to run off consecutive baskets. And with Christodoulou in foul trouble, it might behoove Greece to go to the zone now.
Oh, look at Komazec's work.
That's all he does is work, Tim. He just grinds and grinds and grinds some more.
48-36. Each offensive sequence now very important for Greece. Chekos, not a scorer, gets rid of it.
Has to be done on the perimeter for Greece, especially in the half court. There's no way they're going to get good looks inside against the much bigger Croatia team.
Christodoulou having difficulty off the dribble. They've been unable to create shots for him of the stationary type.
And that's exactly what he needs, Tim. He's not very comfortable shooting the ball off the dribble.
He is 1 of 10 this afternoon. Komazec. An old-style perimeter jumper. You like that form? That'll take you back in time.
Oh, yeah. He's an impressive player. I mean, he just does all the things you want a guy to do from your forward spot. He can shoot the perimeter shot. He'll go in and board. He'll drive and slash. He'll defend.
Now there's the stationary shot we were talking about.
Finally, he says.
Three-pointer. Christodoulou, his first three-pointer of the game, 51-39. And it was the penetration of Giannakis that set that up.
That's the only way it happens for Greece from here on out. Penetration and pitch and knock down some open shots. Defend and rebound and try to get out and run before Croatia is back defensively.
Almost that's again. Vrankovic late to get there defensively.
Greece is tired. The Greece club is tired. And there's nothing that adds more fatigue to your body than back-to-back threes by the opposition. I mean, it just deflates you. Here you take a look. Komazec on the nice kick out from Radja. And that's made possible because Radja is such a handful for Christodoulou downstairs that somebody has to wade back in and double up, and that's left Komazec free for fine looks at three-point shots the last 2 possessions.
Kukoc and Fasoulas have entered the game now, and Christodoulou gets a high arcing runner over Dino Radja's reach, and it's 54-41. That was a tough shot by Christodoulou. Vrankovic will have to check. Komazec. Spin move on the blocks. Nicely done by Radja. 56-41. 15 for Dino and a 15-point cushion for Croatia.
Radja has really shown good patience today, Tim. He's not really forced many shots, and he's made some good passes out of the post.
Christodoulou waking up. He's at his last 3 bombs. He has 10. 56-44. This was the time of the game, frankly, when we felt perhaps Croatia would tire. It's been the reverse. You can really tell on the defensive end, too. Again, Komazec this time can't get it to fall. And Fasoulas clears. Kostas Paravoukas, number 5 in blue. Eftimas Maketsis, number 4, operating at the point. There's the dump down to Fasoulas. That is his patented fall away off the lane.
He's got extremely long arms and he's got good lift. So when he catches it in rhythm, it's really a tough shot for anybody to bother.
Greece has cut it to 10. Down by as many as 15 in this half. Komazec looks off to Radja. Oh, the iron unkind to Dino. Komazec follows. Boy, Komazec really outworking. They'll give the hoop to Dino, but Komazec kept that one alive, and frankly, it would have fallen had Komazec not slammed it home. Count it, and the foul as Galacteros uses the window pane.
Number 6, Komazec has committed.
Komazec doing yeoman's work inside. Radja came over the top.
Makistadrinos feeling the pinch of the powerful front line of Croatia. Here loves to see is great action by a big guy down on the low blocks. And Dino Radja has been up to the task today.
Oh, big time. He's been patient when he hasn't had a shot, but when he has had an opportunity, he's used his body extremely well. The defender wants to break contact actually with the guy that's scoring in the low post, and yet Dino uses his body extremely well to spin away from his defender there.
58-48, 9:35 and counting here in the second half. Radja again on the low block. Falling away this time, an air ball. Maketsis loses his dribble, regains it. Had a little roller hockey going there for a moment. You'll be seeing that later on the Deuce. And even the teammates got a chuckle out of that one.
Substitution, number 12.
I think the roller hockey is actually tomorrow, but you get my drift.
Right. Oh, yeah. No problem. We were right with you, Tim. I can't always say that, but that time we were right with you.
Veliko Merzic has come into the game, number 15 for Croatia. Won't go. Cleared out to Paravoukas. Maketsis runs the break. The reverse won't go for Galacteros.
Boy, in that situation, you like to see him stay on the same side of the goal and go strong, looking for contact, instead of trying to make the acrobatic shot.
Greece will look back on this game, and it's been their shooting percentage, particularly the open jumpers early in this half, that really may be the difference. V.A. Tikkanen can't get it to fall. Christodoulou hit his last 3. And here's Paravoukas. Kostas Paravoukas.
Hey, they've gone back to the zone, Tim. And remember now, in this first half, when they were down by 8 or 9, they were able to bring it back because they went to the zone.
You notice they're walking. I think many times Giuseppe Gergia has to go to the zone because his team simply has no depth.
Exactly. But I think it's a good defense against Croatia because of their advantage inside. Make them shoot outside and then just be ready to challenge shooters and then rebound the ball. But that's a deep 3 by Komazec.
And with his trajectory, where he launches that shot from, where Greece in a position to have fresh legs, they'd be knocking a few of those down. 16 points now, 13 this half for Arian Komazec. Fasoulas on the baseline. Cleared by Komazec. Overshadowed somewhat by the presence of Dino Radja and Tony Kukoc, but Arian Komazec has clearly been the most valuable player for Croatia over the past 2 days here in Toronto.
Oh, he's been the Velcro. There's no question about that.
Good look off to Svea Tikkanen. And Svea Tikkanen knocks it home. Danko, the 30-year-old veteran.
Boy, that just knocked an awful lot of starts out of the Greece squad. Well, they need a basket in a big way here. Otherwise, I think you'll see Croatia continue to build on this 12-point deficit.
Christodoulou, that's a tired shot, but he does follow it. The leaner in the lane.
That's a big basket, Tim. Because I just looked at the Greece players, and they were ready to pack it in after that basket by Svea
Tikkanen, yeah.
Svea Tikkanen. Thank you, sir.
That's why I'm here. Alanovic being matched up defensively by Kostas Patavoukas. That'll be a foul going against Artemis Bakatsias. Yorgos Sigalis will re-enter the game for Greece. There's that leaner in the lane we were talking of, as Christodoulou has answered the bell here against Croatia. Still down only 10 with 6:18 remaining for the bronze medal at the '94 World Championships.
The World Championship of Basketball.
In Greece trailing Croatia by 10. Crowd of better than 24,000 on hand for today's proceedings. Most will leave happy. These teams, particularly Greece, very happy to have made the Final Four within the medal round. It would be gravy were they to bring home a bronze. Croatia trying to answer the bell after that miserable performance last night, aided by Russia's outstanding play.
Boy, that's just a strong move by Dino Radja.
Radja has 19.
Well, he just bullied his way to the goal that time.
Christodoulou from the perimeter won't go. It was deflected, and now Komazec feeds Radja, fouled by Yorgos Sigalis.
Boy, nice look by Komazec. Boy, you talk about giving out game balls. Komazec would be the first guy in line.
Number 4, Artemis Bakatsias.
Take a look at this nice look-away pass. Looks right at the goal and knows Radja is there to his left.
Number 14, Dino Radja.
A conversation at halftime with Bob Ryan. I asked him about some of the players at the international level that many of the NBA scouts were interested in, and noteworthy, Bazovic. You look at backcourt play at the NBA level, and there are some teams that could use some help along the perimeter, and the skill of some of the players at the international level. And I think Babkov and Bazovic are two tremendous examples of that, and they'll be playing Dream Team 2 later today. That's a good illustration of how they might match up. Were they with an NBA
Were
team.
they in the league? Sure.
Fasoulas sweeping in the lane. Here's that power move you like so much.
Well, that's a combo power finesse move. He gets such extension and has such good lift in his legs that he's able to get it up and over most defenders. But he really doesn't overpower anybody with it. He's a very lean frame.
Alanovic lost his dribble. 3-on-3 for Bakatsias. Now he drives baseline.
Boy, he got banged too and no whistle.
He can't believe it.
Yeah, he got hammered by Vrankovic. Should have been at the foul line from the angle that I looked at it.
At the very least. Under 5 minutes to play. The Croatian flags begin to wave as they begin to sense a bronze medal. Bakatsias wreaking havoc defensively. Komazec penetrates. Slammed home by Vrankovic. Kukoc is all smiles. He'll applaud over that one. 11 points, 11 rebounds for Stoyan Vrankovic.
Another double-double. He's had a couple of those in these championships.
68-55. The lead is 13. And it is crunch time for Greece. Fasoulas. A little hang time. Vrankovic has become an intimidator in the paint.
Well, the size inside is gradually worn down Greece, and if you don't counteract that with some perimeter shooting, then every possession becomes a big-time struggle.
Vrankovic just walked down the floor. I mean, he is tired, but once he gets down there, he's too tough for Greece to deal with. Fasoulas with his third block shot of the day. Sigalis spinning, using the glass.
Number 8,
The lead is down to 11 with 3:30 remaining. Yorgos Sigalis has 8 points this afternoon. Radja leaves it on the iron. Fasoulas, the hook again, rolls off. Now that might have been the backbreaker right there. They were hoping to cut it under double digits with that possession. That'll be a foul going against Kostas Papadopoulos.
Timeout on the court.
Timeout from Toronto here at the Sky Dome. Who needs Woodstock? Those fans don't. They're happy here in Canada. The World Championships here on the Deuce. Bronze medal game. Greece falling short offensively, just not hitting as many shots as they really need to stay with a team like Croatia. These fans have hung tough with their team, though the disappointment for Radja and Kukoc so evident last night. Tony Kukoc not really a factor in the second half today. He's been on the pine watching Komazec make many of the plays.
Exactly. And as long as the result is moving towards a W, I'm sure Kukoc will be satisfied. And he'll get some minutes now, but he's not been on the floor in the first 17 minutes of this half. I can't recall him being on the floor more than 6 or 7 minutes.
Vladan Ilanovic is at the line. He's had a far better game today than he had last night.
Well, quite honestly, I'm really impressed by the way Croatia came out. There was never any sign of being flat or being down about being in this game. They pretty much started and maintained an even keel, and then just gradually wore down Greece by virtue of their strength inside and forcing Greece to take tough perimeter shots.
Nikos Bouduris is coming to the game, number 7 in blue. Radja will finally be called for the foul as Christodoulou was really lobbying for that whistle. When you think about it, given the circumstances in this game, a liberal whistle would definitely favor Croatia, and that's what we've had today.
Yeah, this was a delayed call. As you see, obviously, that Christodoulou was fouled by Radja.
Almanovic touched it last, so Greece will retain possession. Michael Stadrinos has worked on that sidelines as hard as anyone I've seen.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. Well, I think they could have benefited maybe from a little more zone defense, but Komazec knocked down a couple of threes this half against the zone and got Greece right out of it.
Giannakis gets called for the reach-in against Komazec.
You know, we talked about Kukoc's minutes, and he's played a total of 26 thus far, 20 of those in the first half when he went the distance. Here we take a look at Giannakis. Got an awful lot of the ball, but got a little body as well.
And Jonas Giannakis, 35 years of age, as we mentioned earlier, his 313th game at the international level. He is really one of the true sports heroes in Greece. Married with a couple of children. And Komazec is becoming a hero in Croatia. This team, after all, made up of so many players that made up the Yugoslavian team that won the '90 World Championships, short of course, the late Drazen Petrovic. Giannakis blowing past Tony Kukoc, and Tony commits the reach-in foul. 2:21 remaining. What do you anticipate in the gold medal game? I think Russia will come out full bore, and we'll have a very entertaining game, at least for a half.
I'm not sure. I think the United States, they've struggled getting off to good starts for most of the tournament. And I think today, being that they'll be playing for the gold medal and this will culminate their stay here in Toronto, I think they're going to come out and play their best game of the championships, at least in the first 10 to 12 minutes.
The foul was committed by Nikos Kukoc, and Komazec is back at the line. The problem for the United States, the problem for Dream Team 2, is that the number of quality minutes for any of the players, despite their individual talent, is such that it's very difficult for them to get any kind of flow to their game.
Sure. And you have to deal with that because you know that's the way it's going to be. And I think in this game you might see Don Nelson stay with a more set rotation as opposed to what's going on in the first 7 games.
Sigales loses it out of bounds. Last touch by Tony Kukoc. There's Nelly. Bob Ryan chatting with him there. I think the quest for the United States today would be get rid of Russia quickly. Prove their dominance, because to this point, none of the teams that have matched Dream Team 2 have shown any fear similar to the fear we saw during the Olympics when Dream Team, made up of Magic and Michael and Larry Bird, their mere presence on the floor had people on their heels.
Exactly.
We haven't seen that from any of the competition in this tournament. We've seen them run out of gas, but we've seen no fear.
Right. This team doesn't, the United States team, as it is comprised now, doesn't have that same air of invincibility, partly because the guys are much younger. I mean, you talk Magic, Larry, Michael, Charles Barkley, Drexler, Robinson, Ewing. I mean, those are guys that have established themselves solidly, not only in the league at that particular time, but in the history of the league. So there's a little different tone with this team.
Croatia will let the clock run with each possession, utilizing the 30 seconds that are allocated to them, and the foul will go again against Nikos Kukoc. Would you know that this was a bronze medal game based on the fan reaction? And look at the Komazec for Raptors sign. They're trying to make a statement. Isaiah, are you watching?
I'm sure somebody will bring that to his attention.
I don't know that Ariane Komazec possesses what it takes to play at the NBA level, but I'll tell you what, Vasiljevic does. I'm not certain Babcock could not be an 11th or 12th man on an NBA team.
Yeah, you try to match those guys up against who they'd face in the NBA, and Komazec would have to match up with some outstanding players at that 3 spot, and I think you're right. He's a solid international player, but to play in the NBA, that requires a whole new level.
And the proof would be Shaq's dominance here at the international level. No one here able to check him, and yet there are games, there are ways in the NBA that you can
negate him. Sure.
Radja, 76-57. 21 for Dino Radja. Buduras can't hit. Vrankovic clears. The score will not be indicative of the way this game was played for better than 3/4 of the 40 minutes.
Well, we talked about it at the top. We talked about the keys for Greece being, one, they needed to make some shots and make them early. They needed to battle on the boards, and they needed to try to keep Croatia from dominating inside. Well, for parts of the first half, they were able to do that. And then early in the second half, shots started not to fall, and Croatia started dominating inside with Radja and then also Komazec.
Kukoc knocks down both. He has 14. He has been the leading assist man in this tournament, coming in with 52 dishes during the World Championships. Three-pointer drops through for Giannis Malaunas, his first basket of the game. 78-60 our score. The clock winding down as Croatia hones in on a bronze. Radja with a steal, and they'll claim a tie ball. We'll have a jump with 12.9 seconds remaining. Clark Kellogg will have an interview for us at the conclusion of our game. Aniotis Fasoulas disappointed, obviously, but this Greece team, as we mentioned, having lost to Puerto Rico a week ago today in our first game here from the World Championships, doing well to make it to this round of the Final Four of the World Championships. Milaunis again. And Komazec holds it. The basket won't count, but the smiles are obvious as Tony Kukoc rids himself of the disappointing loss and his performance last night against Russia. And Komazec and Sigalis greet one another as Croatia beats Greece by a final score of 78-60 to claim the bronze medal, indicative of third place in the 1994 World Championships from Toronto. Clark Kellogg and I will be back from Skydome with more in a moment.